Lottie's lounge in the corner there, and you can just see the two players that are in action at the moment. And this man, they call him the Iceman, Nicolas, and he seems to thrive when he plays his FIFA in the UK. Obviously, as we know, won the LQE back in January, made the semi-final of the LQE in February. Obviously, a console final he made in the FUT Champions Cup of December. He's everywhere, this man.
Yeah, going back to 2018. In Manchester, he made a semi-final. That was when we had 64 players, so in the top 4 players in Manchester. In London for the grand finals at the O2 Arena, he made the top 4 yet again. He's so consistent. He's Mr. Consistent in FIFA. When he comes to an event, he always performs. He rarely gets knocked out early on. I don't think he's ever been knocked out in Swiss style. He just always gets over the line.
He had a little bit of a shock when Nicolas came in yesterday. He lost his first game of the day in Swiss style. 6 goals to 1 against Roy Feldman, the Israeli, who's actually just gone out of the competition in the semi-final stages on the PlayStation. But this is our other semi-final on the PlayStation. It will be one of these two matching up against Web Nasri in a console final. Whoever wins that one jumps into the 850 Global Series points bracket. But it's xLevVinken against Nicolas, a rematch from 2 months before, which actually finished 3-1 to Nicolas in the PlayStation console final. So the same game, but just kind of
1 round earlier.
Yeah, 1 round earlier.
I remember chatting to xLevVinken just after that result, and he said, he's too good defensively. I just couldn't break him down. Just across the back, he had like 10 players behind the ball at all times. There was no room to be able to work the ball in. I love watching xLevVinken play. He's almost mastered the basic elements of the game. Passing, shooting in the final third. He's so effective. I remember the first tournament we ever saw him play at in the ZigOE battle, 2017. He came in as part of an open tournament, 250 players played. He was the one who won that tournament. He then got a spot into the top 16 of an invitational tournament, likes of Rocky, Tass, Dave, by the way, all competing.
And he had an interesting coach, and as you know, Fully, the UK player, was like, you know what? I'll coach you if you want. He coached him for that event, and then Lev went on to play for Sparta Rotterdam, and then he went to Ajax, had a little interesting spell at phase for the E-Club World Cup, and now obviously still under that team bundled banner, but just waiting for that perfect move. And if he keeps on playing like this, I'm sure he's going to have a queue of clubs waiting for him to potentially put pen to paper. A man that's doing so well in the FIFA scene at the moment, ranked 7th in those Global Series rankings, 2,229 points to his name, and if he wins this one, he'll add another 450 on top of that.
And who else but Team of the Year, Kylian Mbappe, doing the job at the back post. 93 jumping, 99 heading accuracy, alongside 99 finishing for Mbappe. He's going to leap up, he's going to win the headers. Ronaldo-esque jump from him at the back post. And Lev looking to double his lead here. Sergio Ramos bursting forward.
Both these players did not have an easy quarter-final tie. Let's just say that. xLevVinken against Stefano Pina, in which he won 3 goals to 2. And then on the other side, Nicolas against Houston, which was a 7-5 thriller. So, you know, you look at that whole bracket, that PlayStation side, which is so stacked, and that's been the story this weekend so far. Those quarter-final games is what you'd probably see in the semi-finals, if not the console final.
Every single quarter-final has been so tight. I think the only one that's been separated by it, like a fairly large goal margin, was probably Stokes quarter-final on the Xbox. But on the PlayStation, it's been so tight. You see Nicolas's results there. He lost the first game and then went on a little bit of a streak. 5-3 win against New York City Chris, a 5-3 win against Murtal, and then a 4-2 win against Stefano Pina in round 4. Both of these players have played Stefano Pina, both beaten Stefano Pina, 4-2 and 3-2 respectively.
Ronaldo, oh no, it's just kind of smashed against the leg of R9 there. Both players very different as well. xLevVinken, a bit more of an emotional character compared to, you know, they call him the Iceman for a reason. He shows no reaction. The biggest reaction we got off Nicolas is when he won those playoffs in Amsterdam last year. And it was kind of like setting into him how good of a FIFA player he really was.
Reduced to tears was Nicolas then. During the playoffs, we saw reaction from him as well when he won the LQE here in January.
And then he decided to take a small break. He had a case of the man flu. One of the most recent FUT Champions Cups. Took the break there, and now he's back fresh playing in London. And at the moment, playing some very good FIFA after, as we said, a bit of a rocky road in Swiss style.
Tell you, I'm a player who's not taken any breaks. So xLevVinken, it's been 70 miles an hour, all routes, going to the playoffs, going to the grand final for LevVinken. He's been one of the standout players this year, in all honesty. He's had a breakout season, I'd say.
It's a lovely ball through. Into Vieira, back inside again for Ronaldo. Make that 1-1. We're in for a long old game here.
I remember talking last season to Melvin from Bundled, one of the co-owners of Bundled, and the agency that I should say Lev's with, and he was saying people are sleeping on LevVinken. He's one of the most naturally gifted FIFA players going, and he's just so good at the minute. He just needs that experience, that sort of hard lessons learned, losing at tournaments, losing in knockout games, to almost steel up and to really get those bad experiences out of the way. And now I think this season you're seeing the best LevVinken coming out to play.
And also at the same side of that, you've got a player that's coming out of a booming nation in the Netherlands. You've got the likes of the Ajax Danny's in there, you've got Lev.
You mean HD?
Like so many good players. You've even got, like Sterling Status that we saw involved. Of course, they're going to be part of the nations. On the other side of that, you've got Argentina. For a while we thought, was it just Nicolas part of that? But now you've got Iago, Diogo. Very good players involved in the Argentina scene. As this esport grows bigger and bigger, we're going to see even more names put out as well.
Yeah, Iago as well, one of the great players coming out of that region.
However, nearly at half-time in our first leg of our PlayStation semi-final. After this, we've got 2 LQEs left, the FUT Champions Cup, an E-Nations Cup, obviously, and the E-Champions League, plus many licensed leagues as we slowly approach towards those playoffs, wherever they're going to be and when they're going to be. We'll have to wait and see. Nicolas trying to build into an attack. He will get the last one of the half. R9, great feet from him. A few fake shots in there as well. In a drag back. David De Gea. Well, you know what? I'm not going to make that an easy day for myself. I'm going to save my feet.
That was so good as well from Nicolas. Great that room at the near post. Couple of scoop turns back-to-back, standing scoop turns, and then El Croqueta, or should I say La Croqueta, to create the space for him.
Watch out for Ronaldo. Went for an acrobatic effort at that front post. Added time of 2 minutes. And then we do move into half-time, where we can actually see a little bit more of how both these players have set up formation-wise. Any interesting choices of players there, but as you know, have a number of competitive FIFA teams. 95% are all the same. That's the shoulder-to-shoulder.
Our Mbappe getting back and doing the defensive work there. He's absolutely bullied R9 off the ball. You can see the pass accuracy at the bottom, slightly in favour of LevVinken, 4-2-3-1 from the Dutchman. The flying Dutchman at the minute, LevVinken, unbeaten here in the Gfinity Arena. If you think LevVinken's going to go all the way, let us know on Twitter. Hashtag Gfinity, at Gfinity.
Interesting to see he's playing the French kits as well. You'd think he'd be playing maybe the Dutch kits for
he does what he wants
for LevVinken, but yeah, he's a fantastic FIFA player. And you saw the stats at half-time. Not many shots between the two. Nicolas had 2 shots, Lev had 1. A very close and contested game so far we have seen here. I think I spoke about this yesterday a little bit, about some players like a Stefano Pina. When they get onto those kind of rocky roads halfway through the season, or maybe even in the last third of the season, you've had such a good strong start to the season, you've got to keep going.
I wouldn't even say a rocky road, I'd say just say tiredness maybe. Like, I don't think a rocky road is sort of where the player doesn't know if they want to carry on competing in FIFA 19, if they feel that they're not good enough. They definitely know they're good enough. It's just a case of
all the travelling. For example, he's flying over from Argentina. Obviously, he will be involved in so many more tournaments as well.
Also, the stress and the anxiety that performing puts on you, and constantly playing to your own high levels that you set on yourselves, it's tough. It takes a toll on you.
Oh, here's a bit of a mistake here. It's going to fall to Neymar, and he's not going to be missing that opportunity. We were just talking about the pressures of competing there, and I've no idea exactly how that chance came about. I think it was a misplaced pass, and the next thing you know, Neymar was in space. That's 2 shots, and that's 2 goals for LevVinken.
Interesting from Lev as well. He's playing Neymar up top, which is something you rarely see from a lot of players, playing That Team of the Year Neymar is a central striker, and I think he's playing Mbappe and the two Ronaldos slightly off him as his three cams. He makes no mistake there, does Neymar Jr. Luka Modric coming on for Nicolas here. Looks like for Vieira.
He just wants a little bit more of energy in that midfield. He currently is down by 2-1. We know, though, very well from Nicolas, do not write this man off any time soon. #1 on PlayStation, you know, undoubtedly people would say, go on a limb, one of the best PlayStation players we've seen in the last few years of competitive FIFA.
Oh yeah, 100%. We saw it in FIFA 17, the sort of potential that he had. I think we saw him at the FIWC qualifiers in Los Angeles.
First time we saw him, yeah.
And then at the grand final, he had that fantastic outing. He finished top 16 against Mo Alba. FIFA 18, he just dominated.
I think it might have been him that one game against Mo Alba where he was 4-0 down. Or he might have been 4-0 up, one of the two, and he came back to win potentially 5-4 in that one. But I definitely remember that back in Los Angeles 2017, seeing Nicolas for the first time, just seeing who's Nicolas99, topped his group, made to the grand final, as you said, and the rest was history, as we're commentating on over him right now. Still such a great player. See, with FC Basel, they haven't got too bad of a FIFA roster. The likes of Cody the Finisher, Lubo, Swiss champion over there as well, and the Stranger. Needs to defend this one though, will be Rio Ferdinand that does collect that one.
I'm surprised that's not a free kick actually. Looks like he just clipped his ankles there. Did Nicolas. Tell you what, Lev's pressing's been very, very impressive. You saw Marcelo just nipping in front of him there. The player switching to be able to read the opponent, switch onto Marcelo, pull him in front of him straight away. That shows the reaction time, the quickness, and also the brain quickness as well that Lev is playing with right now. You've got to be so switched on to be flicking with the right stick and switching players that quickly.
The biggest thing I think I've seen is that Lev hasn't really given any respect to Nicolas at all. He's kept the ball for most of this game. Here's a chance now for Ronaldo. Surely going to get to the rebound there for Marcelo. Just about does enough. But I just feel like the attitude of Lev is just, in this game, he's not afraid of anyone. At this stage in his FIFA career, as you said, he's having a fantastic season. He's in the top 10 out of thousands over on the PlayStation.
He's got no reason to show anybody respect, really, on the pitch at least. It's just the way that he plays. He's confident in his own ability that he can do the job wherever he needs to do it. And as Mike was saying earlier, he's not even, Lev says himself, he's not played that great this tournament, yet he's still unbeaten. See some of his results there down the right-hand side. In round 1, it were a tough game against Marv. And then in round 4, he's had to already knock out Stefano Pina in the quarter-finals. Can he dethrone, he's dethroned number 2, can he dethrone number 1 on the PS4 standings in Nicolas? And set up a final against Webb.
Tell you what, that's an interesting ball over the top there. David had to be called upon to come out and just give that one a punch away. If he can get himself into the second leg though, Richard, with Lev, with a small advantage, that's going to do him a hell of good. Or has Nicolas got other ideas? Ronaldo into Hullet now. Just a basic switch over there, and it's going to look like that Alexandro is going to be driving on down that left-hand side.
We'll be thinking back to the last time they played as well, when he gave Nicolas the lead, and as soon as he gave him the lead, there was no way back into the game for him. He just shut out the game so well, did Nicolas.
Eusebio. Alexandro, he's really happy to get forward. He's going to be a gap, though, on that left-hand side. If he can find him, he can't. The pressure from Nicolas is clearly quite influential there. Out for a corner now, and then we're going to see another pause for one of these two. I think it might be Lev that cued that one. Just some fresh legs, if anything. And it will be that legend that he loves to use, a legend, a Dutch legend. We'll see grace the game in Johan Cruyff, and that'll be a story if he can go and score today.
Yeah, fantastic as well. I think it was 3 years today that he actually passed away, did Johan Cruyff, so that would even make it more special for Ajax fan LQE, a big Ajax fan as well. He went over to Madrid.
He's been having the time of his life with the Champions League at the moment.
In the Champions League, where Ajax knocked out the current champions in Real Madrid, and what a story that would be if Cruyff can extend his lead here.
Or potentially even winning the competition. We don't know obviously if he's going to make it through to the cross-console final or even that console final yet. There's still another leg of FIFA to play, of course. Interesting to see the change that Nicolas has made as well. Watch Ronaldo. He's just trying to move around with Ronaldo. He's going to go all the way across instead. De Gea's pulled out well there. Falls back so nicely, so kindly to Hullet.
What a save from David De Gea. Springing to his left-hand side and pushing that ball away as well. He didn't only push it out, he pushed it away from goal. Messi will get that.
Anything, just see out this game for Lev. He'll be 50% of the way there to a console final. Already guaranteed themselves 315 Global Series ranking points from this competition today and a little bit of prize money. They'll be looking to go the extra step. 450 in the bank. Global Series ranking points, I mean. Added time to come any second.
He's kept the ball really, really well here as Lev coming into the last 2 minutes of additional time, just keeping the ball around the back, making the no potential even opportunity for Nicolas to score here. If he can extend his lead just before the end of the game.
Into Hullet all the way across. This could be massive for him. That's a massive goal. Just a little stop as well. It's as soon as the ball came into Ronaldo, he knew there was going to be a bit of goalkeeper movement there from Nicolas. You could just see it there. A very small stop. Stops the ball on his feet, gets his head up, and just rifles that into the back of the net. 3-1 xLevVinken. What an advantage he's got into this second leg.
The goalkeeper movement from Nicolas there, quite, I'd say risky, in all honesty. He's moved him all the way to the other side of the goal, clearly expecting a low driven across the goalkeeper, and he just hammered it home at the near post. He made it simple for him. The thing is with the goalkeeper movement, if you don't move him and you keep him as his natural position where the AI would put him, the chances that you're normally going to score on weekend league when your opponent isn't moving the goalkeeper, or just the regular chances that you score, they're the ones that you shoot. Yep. They're the ones, the low driven, the finesse shot. If you do move your goalkeeper, you add that little bit of unpredictability where you might pull off an unbelievable save or something along the lines. That was Ronaldo being the crosser this time for Lev's first goal. Something you see the role reversal almost. Mbappe winning the header and Ronaldo crossing it.
He nearly did go 2-0 up on that occasion. Ball went into R9 there. This was Nicolas that did come forward. No, he was 1-0 down at this point. Ball into Ronaldo. That made it all square at 1-1. It was Lev. It did take the advantage though soon after. This was the chance that I think nearly went in the end. A lovely bit of skills.
Deserved the goal, didn't it?
Combination of skill moves there. David De Gea saved that with his feet. And the added time of 2 minutes. Nearly a penalty shout, but that was just shoulder to shoulder in my eyes.
You've seen him and Hullet giving the ball away there. That was the chance that xLevVinken doubled his lead there. 2 goals on the board. Just a sloppy pass from Nicolas. The sort of mistakes that you're not used to seeing from him, in all honesty. And what save here from David De Gea. Springing to his left.
Well, the big left hand as well. This was the last chance of the game, and this was for Nicolas. Just get out of this game. At 2-1 down, and the goalkeeper movement was all over the shot there. 3-1 in the end it finished. Ronaldo with that third goal, Richard, and it sets up this second leg so well.
Yeah, you're thinking, this is the exact same scoreline that Nicolas beat Lev in January. One stage further, it was in the console final on the PlayStation. Nicolas won the tie, won the series 3-1. Lev's leading 3-1 right now. Nicolas, in my opinion, is much better at seeing out a game and being the sort of defensive player to just frustrate your opponent, play them into mistakes and see out a game, rather than the sort of Mo Alba, FIFA Houston attacking, where you just press and press and press, and you're scoring 4 or 5 goals to overturn a lead. This is in Lev's hands big time right now.
I don't think it'll be a 0-0 this one, for sure. I'll be surprised if it's going to be a 0-0 and it would be the same score as when they, of course, when we keep talking about this, when they met back at that January LQE, which Nicolas actually went and won. They met in the big, I think it was the console final over on the PlayStation. Yep. Nicolas won, played Resende, won that, picks up the check, picks up the Global Series points. But Lev's got to be happy with that. He's made Nicolas always chase the game. He's
100%.
always made them chase the game, which is something that Nicolas isn't probably used to doing, or something that obviously he doesn't want to do. He wants to be winning, he wants to be controlling the game himself.
Well, we've seen in this tournament alone that Nicolas isn't, you'd say, bulletproof. He lost his first game 6-1 of the day yesterday against Roy Feldman. So he's beatable, and Lev right now, he's in the perfect position. He's 3-1 up, he's 90 minutes away. He's 12 minutes for FIFA from making another console final. The person he will be facing is Webb Nasri in that PlayStation console final.
You can see some of the results as well that these guys played on the right-hand side of your screen. LevVinken beating Pina to be here in the semi-finals. Guess you can't really say there is an easy game because it is so tough. Swiss style into the knockouts. Here we go though, second leg, LevVinken against Nicolas. LevVinken 3 goals to 1 up, kicking from right to left. In the home strip of FC Basel, it will be Nicolas who's chasing this game, and if anything, needs a comeback.
Got to score early, has Nicolas. If he can get an early goal,
Well, can he do exactly that? No.
Plant that seed of doubt in the brain of LevVinken, potentially could see a comeback on the cards. But if Lev can even take it into half-time, as it is right now at a 0-0 scoreline, you saw how well he kept the ball in the final 10 minutes of the first leg.
If he can get the first goal as well, Richard,
Oh, I'll tell you what.
be massive for him. There's the run. If he can get Neymar around the right side of Maldini, I want to say it is. Just cleared all the way across there. It's going to go up for a throw-in.
It's also really captivated me that how he's playing Neymar at striker. Usually that's R9 or Ronaldo in that position, but it looks like Ronaldo, CR7 at least, is over at right cam. R9, I think he's in a sort of a central attacking mid position, and then Mbappe as his left cam, and then Neymar leading the line. It just shows that he's willing to be versatile in his approach here. That's going to run for,
as you say,
oh, it's a free kick against him.
ability he can have to have Ronaldo out on that right-hand side, where we know what Ronaldo can do if it goes anywhere in that box.
Header heaven for Ronaldo.
Or even R9, who nearly scored the first. I think Mbappe it was. Sorry, so you got the Mbappe on the left-hand side. I mean, there's so many, ways he can go forward in an attacking sense. Whether he wants to cross it, whether he wants to play straight down the middle of Neymar. Just it just changes up the way he can play.
Both these players sat on completely different ends of the stage right now as well. Lev had Shells with him yesterday in behind him. Not today, however. He's a lone wolf, he's LevVinken today. Saw him a little bit earlier, chatting to Wes Tanter from Hashtag, probably just getting his mind off the FIFA action, just having a little bit of a chin wag. In between, while his game was being scheduled to play.
Is Nicolas now the corner?
He's flicked onto Ronaldo.
You can't really see it just because it's where the scoreline is, but you can just see potentially a few curses being changed around there. You can see Lev controlling Hullet. Still controlling Hullet now. There's someone that's run short. On the other side of that, you can probably see someone moving around right on the edge of the box. It's going to be Hullet that he does control in the end, but it will be the defensive Hullet that does clear that one. Well played from Lev as well to go from left to right.
I'll tell you what, the way that he can play out of the back has really impressed me with LevVinken. Just shows he's so composed on the ball. He's so calm on the ball. He never seems to be panicked. He never seems to rush. He always knows what he wants to do and just seems to execute it, probably 9 times out of 10, successfully, does LevVinken.
Vieira into Hullet now. Trying to work something for Mbappe.
Chance.
Back to Hullet now into Ronaldo.
He's off that near post again. He's done that a couple of times, has R9 and Nicolas.
And there we go. Do not write that man off just yet. Cristiano Ronaldo, as soon as that ball goes into the box, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and Nicolas there apologising as well. Ball flicked up out wide. First time cross into the box, and Ronaldo runs from deep, leaps up, heads the ball home.
There we go. Game back on. 26 minutes on the clock. Is there a chance? for the Argentine to respond again. Mbappe crosses all the way back over, chance for LeVinken. Unfortunately not there. Big goal for Nicolas though, opening 30 minutes, he has responded.
The first goal was so impactful in this game. That mental side of the game is just so important right now for LeVinken to be able to just try and see this game off. That's the main thing. You break it down into stages.
That's a golden chance there. Another day that one goes in, or even under the body of David De Gea there. Watch out for this corner again. Going to play short to Mbappe. Ronaldo is in that box. Be warned. As he's won so many headers in the past as well. Nearly a half time and nearly completed our third out of the fourth total. Halves of football, lovely feet from Nicolas now. A few drag backs for Kylian Mbappe. Back inside, could that be the equaliser? Yes, it will, in the end.
Big slice of luck, but it's all come about from him being really smart out wide. Most of the time when people get in that position, they're looking for an El Tornado, they're looking for a cutback and a cross. What Nicolas has done is pulled out a skill move. I think it might have been an elastico out wide, and he's gone down the line. As soon as you get into that position, 30 questions start arising in Lev's mind. Is he going to go near post like he's done multiple times in this game so far? Is he going to look for a cutback? I often say that's the sort of magic area inside the box, in between the penalty area and the 6-yarder, just because you can dink it to the back post, you can cut it back, you can go near post. That's probably the best opportunity to score this year.
LeVinken, can he respond straight away? What a save from Manuel Neuer, but I've definitely got to speak about what you just said there. He's done it a few times out on this right-hand side. He's looking for it again, Nicolas. A lot of success, getting out to Mbappe, as you said, being very creative with it as well. A few skill moves, if anything, just to delay it, to delay the run, get a few more players into the box. He's all square again now. He's a player that you never want to write off in Nicolas.
It's been all Nicolas in this second leg so far. Lev had that one header that just went past the post, but apart from that, it's been all the Argentine. Keeping hold of the ball, working his opportunities, carefully, not rushing anything.
Ronaldo into Hullet. Can he find that ball round his man? Simple heel to heel, still in possession though. It's going to go from Vieira to R9. Where will the shot come? Fake shot. Neymar still in possession. Great feet from him as well in such a tight area. And such a good goal as well. We speak about Nicolas being creative, making something out of nothing. And he's done it once again.
It's a page out of Texas book, that goal right there. Gets it out wide. Couple of elasticos back to back. And then rifled in at the near post with Neymar. And it's the first time that Nicolas has had the lead in this series. And it's come just on the stroke of half-time. 3-0. Nicolas leads in this tie, and what a turnaround. 3-1 down coming into this game.
What a half of FIFA from him as well.
Just shows what he's capable of.
That's what the two legs of FIFA can do exactly. Two different stories always seems to be the case.
His coach has probably said to him at the interval, just get at him. I think you're trying to play a little bit too acute, and you're trying to play too probably nice. Just get at him. Do the effective things in the game. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just win the game. You saw that scoop cross into the back post, and then you saw that elastico finish. Couple of elasticos back to back. Smashed in at the near post.
And also on the other side of that, you've got LeVinken now, who must be thinking to himself, I had such a good advantage there. I was 3-1 up, now I'm 4-3 down. I'm 3-0 down in this second leg. And I agree, yes, I'm only a goal down. But he's thinking all those efforts have all been undone, and he has to just kind of go back again because he's chasing the game now.
Completely different set of games here that we've seen in the semi-finals. Webb versus Feltman, quite a cagey match.
2-1 in the end.
2-1 the final score, which is something you rarely see. This one, 4-3. It's been a second leg masterclass from Nicolas that puts him in the driving seat with 45 minutes left to play.
Lev needs one of the best half of FIFAs he's had over this weekend. Such a tough game as well. As we said, you'd often see this one as a console final. We did see it as a console final a little while back. And just shows as well, Lev is in this one all the way till the end. We're back square at 4-4.
Yeah, he's capitalised straight from the get-go. xLevVinken moves the ball into Neymar, his central striker, as I've said multiple times. Timed green, fires it past the goalkeeper. 4-4 the scoreline right now. What a semi-final we are witnessing here in the Gfinity Arena between top 10 opposition on the PlayStation.
Eight goals as well scored. If it stays like this, I'm sure it won't. Be off to extra time for a place in the console final to play up against Webb. Japanese FIFA player, the furthest he's ever gone in a tournament to date in FIFA 19. Last year was a player full of surprises. I think the playoffs was kind of the standout mark for him.
He was top 4 in the playoffs out of 64 players was Webb. I think he lost to Nicolas in the end in the semi-final. That was the game that he lost.
Ramos into Ronaldo.
Got a great story as well going into the playoffs about Nicolas and Webb being training partners. I don't know if you remember that. Could be seeing the final between the two training partners once again here.
The Japanese FIFA player and the Argentine, obviously. Interesting to hear they did a few kind of practice games together last year on FIFA 18. I'm sure that probably has changed going into this year, as Nicolas has very good friends as well from Janos's. There's many more players in that America scene. Vieira now for Nicolas. He's had a fantastic first half, second half though. Haven't seen exactly what he can do. Maybe this could be the opportunity to prove that to us. A half drag back there into Hullet now, who will have that final shot. Into a pause as well.
Smashed past the left post there from Ruud Hullet. All Nicolas in this game. 58, I think 57% of the ball. Almost triple the amount of shots that LevVinken has had as well.
You can just see there on the right-hand side. He had to play Pina in the round 4 of Swiss-style format, did Nicolas, to get himself through to the knockouts. Then played against Houston today. On the other side, you've got Lev, who's had to play Pina as well to get to this stage. He has to play him in the knockouts. Yeah,
Pina's matchmaking was really cruel. He had to play...
It was something that Lev used to always go on about, wasn't it? His first games in Swiss.
He had to play Nicolas, then Mawauba. New York City Chris then in the round of 5, and then Lev in the quarterfinal.
We did say this, though, coming into it.
So stacked.
The PlayStation side just looked so good. So many big names.
Coming into today, out of the 8 players we had left, 5 of them were in the top 10 on the Global Series rankings.
Which again, just speaks of, volumes of how stacked, how competitive the PlayStation side has looked. And we're going to be going down to the final 2 players after this game has concluded. We already know one of them, Webb Nasri. Sitting over a 900 Global Series ranking points, could really do with an extra 850 to his name as he probably looks towards the grand finals if he can do that. Great FIFA here from Nicolas. This comes to an end though via Vieira.
That'll be back-to-back grand finals as well for Webb Nasri, if he was to make the FEWC 2019 finals.
And it'd actually be quite a story if he starts to find form now at this time of the year.
Exactly the same as last year.
I think the difference is this year, where there's been so many more events, he's been able to compete in them, but he's always seems to struggle in Swiss style. And one effort that was from Lev. Back to goal. Went for that time green finesse. Pulled out a save from De Gea. And now we're going to see some substitutes again. Will we see the likes of Cruyff introduced? Not just yet.
Pele coming on for him as that central cam. R9 going off. Nicolas also making changes. We're watching LevVinken's point of view right here. Got some unbelievable Xbox ties to come up as well. Tom Stokes versus MS Desari. Rebel Stokes, that is. And also a big, big tie. PSG Dax and a hashtag Harry on the Xbox.
And of course, after that, we'll have our console finals and our cross-console final Well, we'll find out who will be picking up that check. And 850 Global Series ranking points. Substitution, as you mentioned, Pele's on now. For xLevVinken, can he make the all-important difference? He's on in a cam role. If it does stay like this, we will go to extra time. Here's that substitute now, Pele. Very patient from xLevVinken. We have seen this across the two legs. Knows he's not going to rush his chances against Nicolas.
This is a tournament where we've seen a lot of repeat fixtures. We saw Nicolas versus Houston. Nicolas won 5-1 the first time round they played. I think that was in the January LQE. He beat him 7-5 this time, an improvement from Houston. First time these played, or the last time I should say these two played before this, Nicolas and Lev. Nicolas won 3-1. We're going into the final 5 minutes and the score's 4-4. This just shows that people are catching up to Nicolas.
And also, it just shows it's the same names making the events again, making the latter stages in the events as well. I want to see the passing count here if he goes and scores from this.
He's waiting for the 90th minute to tick over, so he gets the final chance of the game.
Out to Marcelo. With Vieira. Just waiting around the edge of the semicircle. If he can pick that up instead, Maldini. You think you've hit the nail on the head there. Build into the last chance of the game. If you don't know what that means, it means that Lev will get the last chance.
As soon as it hits the 90th minute, he's going to go forward. That means that there's no time for Nicolas to attack, whether that be just from the runner play or from kickoff. As soon as that whistle goes, the goal's gone in. It's going to be game over. 2 added minutes. This is where he's going to go forward now. And he's nearly lost out on possession.
So there is a, I see the side to that, but there's a risk with it as well. Needs to go forward now. Added time of 2 minutes. Get the ball forward.
Let's give it away.
I think we're going to go to extra time here unless...
Hold on.
If Nicolas goes and scores this now... Oh, no, he's not going to. I think we're going to go to extra time. Yes, we are. Extra time between these two.
I get holding the ball for the final chance, but there were opportunities there that came up for him where he could have gone forward. And I think sometimes, I think pros become a little bit too reluctant to change what they're doing. And like, I'm waiting for the final chance. I'm waiting for the final chance. Even if a chance comes up, some players are just stubborn and they're not going to do it.
I think even if he went forward, maybe just a minute earlier, as I mean, like 89th, as soon as the 89th minute hit, then he started pushing on forward, giving them just a little bit more time to work the ball up the field. Instead, it's kind of like an instant panic. You either go for it, or as you said, you just sit back. And then try and wait to send yourself through to extra time. But 30 more minutes is needed to separate these two. 180 couldn't do that, unfortunately. 8 goals scored and a 4-4 aggregate is what we're looking at right now. What's that run from Pele? Into Ronaldo. Eusebio's fresh as well. Moving it so well. Got to be careful as well. He's got very good fresh attacking players on.
That was such a risky pass there back to Varane. Thought we were going to get intercepted.
Expect the same again from Lev. Just hold the ball. He'll build into the attack.
He's not going to rush anything. This is room for Vieira to go forward.
There's Neymar in that striker role, as you pointed out perfectly earlier on today, Richard. And there wasn't Vieira where he wanted him. He wanted him on the edge of the box, and he was nowhere to be seen, if not even Pele, who's been fresh on. Watch out for Pele, he's fresh, and so's Eusebio. That's pace down that right-hand side and that left-hand side. David De Gea, be very careful there.
Ooh, Pele's had to win that because De Gea only just now getting back into his goal. We'd have seen a header from there.
Yeah. One mistake will probably lose someone this game. One simple mistake. Or one bit of class. It's going to be Nicolas that's going to maybe show us that. Neymar to Modric. Eusebio, lovely feet from the Portuguese icon. To just manoeuvre that round in such a tight area as well.
Yeah, the fake shot out of his feet creates the chance here. Usually you see players fake shot inside and then open up, whereas he's fake shot outside. And then because he knows Eusebio's got that 5-star weak foot, he doesn't need to do anything else. Just time it green, hit the low driven across the goalkeeper. And you talked about seeing that little bit of magic. It's come from Nicolas.
That means that Lev Has to go chasing again now for this one. We'll look for a goal straight from the restart if possible. Into Hullet. Mbappe now. That could be. Oh no! If he had an extra chance, an extra touch there, sorry, could have maybe opened up on a 1v1 against Neuer, but
he had so much time. He's hit it first time. Just squandered that opportunity as Lev there. He doesn't need us to tell him that. He knows, you saw from the reaction himself, that is going to take us into half-time. Here in extra time, and Nicolas with a slight lead with 15 minutes left to play. LeVinken.
This is time for a Johan Cruyff masterclass.
It's time for Johan Cruyff to come on, the Ajax legend, the Dutch legend.
If he can maybe score a winner or even take him to penalty shootout, that would be one hell of a story.
I think he was putting Pele back in CDM, I think, and then putting Cruyff going forward. So I'm interested to see what he's actually running with right now, LeVinken, because unless he's changed formation and gone 3 at the back, that could be something that he's potentially doing. It still looks like 4 at the back for me. I think he is just literally playing Pele as CDM. Cruyff for Mbappe, the change that he's made.
Got the space on that left-hand side for Nicolas's winger in Neymar. Eusebio, the goal scorer. That little bit of class I was asking for, I did see. Just has to defend this one. Varane, oh, be careful there, back to De Gea. Into our last 10 minutes here of extra time. Lev needs to respond if he wants to go to a penalty shootout. And the lottery of penalties, which we've seen a few times, especially here at the Gfinity Arena. Johan Cruyff is on. The Dutch icon, the Dutch footballing legend. What a story that will be. Oh, he was looking for maybe a deflection there to take that out for
it's gone out for a corner.
It has gone out for a corner. Did not expect to see that. Cruyff just waiting over it. Johan Cruyff, 2 play into Maldini, will not be shooting from there. Wants a bit of quality on the ball there. Intercepted.
He had no options. The ball came into Maldini on the edge of the box, and he literally had nobody going forward for him.
Look at that press. Look at the press. The numbers forward. Plays inside. Cristiano Ronaldo, he just can't get around the right side of his man. Where's that ball going to fall to? And a counter-attack, he has to deal with this one now.
Nicolas going to the corner, keeping hold of the ball.
He knows how to manage games.
Is it going to be another console final for Nicolas?
Another big tournament for the Argentine, #1 on the Global Series rankings. They call him an Iceman for a reason. When he was 3-1 down, he still didn't crack under pressure.
It's good pressing. Got to put Rio Ferdinand under a little bit of pressure.
You've just got to hope for the bouncer, haven't you? This is where Lev's going to have to press now. Numbers will come forward naturally.
Look at him going forward. He's on constant pressure. He's
needed Ramos to win that one.
Chance.
Ramos. Into our last 2 minutes here. This is your time to be a hero. Someone in LeVinken's team. Neymar. Into Hullet. Where's this one going to end up?
This is it.
Pele. Falls back inside to Lionel Messi with that right foot. Superb defending, and that's going to be Nicolas going through to a console final. Even then, when he had so much pressure on him, he still did not crack. The Argentine console finals, it's like second nature to him. He books himself into another one.
Wow, what a game.